There are things that we know. There are things that we know that we don't know. And there are things that we do not know that we don't know. On this channel I mostly talk about the first thing, things that we know about GTA 6. And I really cannot talk about things that we don't know that we don't know. But I can talk about things that we know that we don't know. And I might be able to dive into things that we don't know that we don't know. So, what don't we know about the GTA 6 map? My name is Saukko and I'm part of the GTA 6 mapping project. I help in the creation of the community maps, such as the map made by Dubso and the map made by Yanis. I'm gonna make dedicated map updates only about the Dubso's map, because that's the map I have been making updates about. But the map made by Yanis is much more up to date, so I'm gonna use it in this video. And it was recently updated to be in the SVG format, so vectorized. It's much more higher quality and much more detailed, while still keeping the file lightweight so even phones can handle it, unlike Dubso's map sometimes. But yeah, Yanis' map is the most up-to-date map with all the cool stuff now. And Dubso is on holiday doing summer things, so he might come back sometime. And Yanis' map is originally based on Dubso's map, so they are basically the same thing. And they have mostly the same features, like the controversial panhandle. But let's start from the bottom up. And the first thing that we know that we don't know is Key West. We know that Key West will be in the game, because why not? There is a massive road going down the Keys, and the name of Key West was mentioned in the leaks, which in-game will be Sundown Key, or they might have changed it to Sunset Key, as seen here. Or Sundown might be the down and Sunset Key might be the key itself. I don't fucking know. Also, the Svufo school, seen here, is from Key West, and this building too is from Key West, but is placed on Key Lento. And the Big Cat mansion mentioned in the leaked events is also from Key West. So we know Rockstar has been to Key West, and presumably the location of Key West on the map will be here, but we don't know anything that is on it. So it's a known unknown. And mostly the same stuff with the naval air station, but we actually see stuff from there in this scene, as these towers are from the naval air station. So it's a given that it'll be there. Are you still not on Grand Roleplay? Then you are missing out on a whole world of possibilities in GTA 5. It's not just a server, it's a place where you can become anything you want. A businessman, a policeman, a trucker, or even a gangster. Participate in a load of server activities, unique quests, monthly updates, feel like the main character. Do you want to feel like a real boss? Or find friends and have fun with them? And what about money? You can make money here on anything. Want to break into the world of GTA 5 RP but don't know where to start? Follow the link in the description and in a minute you can start the game and get a lot of bonuses to start. Everything is simple and clear, no confirmation and complicated actions. Download it and in a minute you can create your dream character. If you haven't played on the server in a long time, be sure to come in and don't forget to check your garage, especially for those who came less than 3 months ago. A small gift has been left for you, the cool Ubermac M5. Link in description today. Then from Key West, we actually move even more to the west because of the Dry Tortugas National Park. Fort Jefferson is located on the national park, and it will likely be in the game, because the Dry Tortugas National Park headquarters is in the game. So that would imply that the national park itself is in the game too. Unless they have repurposed the headquarters for something else. Well, then it won't be in the game. So I might be wrong about things that I don't know. The southeastern part of the map is basically almost completely known due to the amazing work on the mapping server, mostly done by RLX, and because of these amazing projections. But we do still have some blind spots in this area, mostly because they are very far away from the camera or something's blocking the view. Firstly, basically everything in between Hamlet and the airport. We only see the big radio tower in there, and everything on the ground level is hidden. But I'm assuming it's based on the Silver Palm Redland area, which is mostly full of farms and mansions. And then of course, this area around the airport, we have only seen the tall buildings there. So any ground level things are unknown, like roads and small buildings. So even though the area is empty mostly, it has a lot of roads and city stuff, it just isn't mapped on the map. Same with crosstown and downtown, we just have more buildings on there because most buildings there are tall. Then, west of La Perle and Rockridge. This is probably the most unknown area of Vice City, because it's really hard to tell how far the city extends to the west. We do have this Ambrosia screenshot, which is looking south, and we see some of the airport buildings here, which probably means that Vice City isn't going to extend much more to the west than that. But what I can guarantee to you is that the city will extend at least slightly more to the west from Rockridge, so the stadium is not at the edge of the city. And then La Perle, which will extend a lot more to the west, to at least the level of the stadium. Because of the TikTok leak, we can see a lot of buildings to the west, but we cannot map them because the quality is so low. But basically, the city will be much bigger on this area, but we just don't know how big. Then towards Vice Beach. We know about the existence of Star Island because we have seen some of the edges of it, but we don't know what will be on it. Ferry Island is still a complete unknown, we have no confirmation of it. And again, Vice Beach is partly empty because we haven't seen things from there on ground level. So both of these areas will have more roads and buildings. And of course the Flamingo Park will be here. Then the Northern Vice Beach. We still have a few blind spots around this area, and I'm gonna use my own map for this because it's a bit more accurate. This island will be mostly based on Bay Harbor Island and the town of North Beach. And we know of some buildings there, but there are blind spots here and here. And we also have a blind spot where Vice Point would be if it returns from GTA's Vice City. And yes, the golf club will be there, we really don't know the shape or what buildings there will be. Then let's talk about the East Coast before I move on to anything else. Most of this is actually mostly known, because in one of the leaks we can see parts of the East Coast from under the ground. We can see this bit here and this bit here, and the distance is kinda estimated but relatively accurate, so it might be slightly off. And we kinda see this island from below and this barrier island. But basically anything else on the East Coast is speculative or unknown, like these rivers or the location or even the existence of Peanut Island. And basically anything that we wouldn't see from the south, like this bit here, and of course the northern border is completely speculative and unknown. And then we have Broward County or North Vice or whatever. This area is probably the most unknown urban area of the map. We know that there will be urban stuff here because of this scene, which is located here, and because of this scene, which has been approximated to be located here. So most of this is basically just filler here. We aren't really sure of the orientation of the scene or most buildings there. So most of this is unknown, but we know that there is a county there which has urban areas, and it probably has some even high-rise buildings, as we can see something here which could be a building or just a tree, and something here which is far beyond Vice City, around the area of Broward County. So that is mostly an unknown urban area, which is most likely based on Hollywood, Fort Lauderdale or West Palm Beach. Then there's this large empty area, which we know basically nothing about. It could be city, or it just could be swamps, or even just sugarcane fields. Then around this area we can see the Sebring water tower in this screenshot. So this is the only screenshot we can use to evaluate this area. And only thing we really see is random lights there which are probably along roads. So not much to help us. And then we have the southwest side, which is basically completely unknown. There must be some land there, but we haven't seen any of it. Only hint we have is the Cape Romano houses, which were mentioned in the leaks. So this would imply that Marco Island will be in the game, but we really cannot be sure about that. And of course, if there isn't anything important there, it will just be swamps again. Also, the redneck mug lab scene in Trigger 1 should be around this area. And then we move up to Port Galhorn, which still has some blind spots. We have only seen parts of the town, and gaps there will probably be filled. And of course we don't know if there will be an airfield connected to the racetrack. This area here is a hill and mostly mapped, but we really can't know if we missed anything there. So there might be much more buildings on this hill. And then, fun fact, we don't know how you get onto the Pocamar Bridge. So that's still a mystery to us. And of course we really don't know much about the northern side of the Port Galhorn Bay. We only know that the port is there, this large factory from Panama City, and this random refinery of some sorts. And as those things exist there, we can assume that the north side will probably have much more stuff, we just haven't seen it. And hopefully it will be from Tampa City. And Ambrosia is mostly well mapped, but of course there will probably be more buildings that we haven't seen, or we actually have seen, but the quality here is just too low to map. So Ambrosia is missing buildings and roads. And then we move north towards the Mount Kalaka National Park. We actually see a lot of large hills around this area in the leaks. So Mount Kalaka National Park is here. We really cannot be sure about the accurate layout of the hills, because it's really hard to triangulate them due to their massive size. But around here, and one thing that will probably be among the hills is Red Hill, which was mentioned in the leaks, and it will probably be based on the town of Blue Ridge, which is in Georgia, and name Blue Ridge, Red Hill, you know, it matches. So that will be around somewhere here among the tall hills. And Lake Leonida is basically a known. Just the shape of it around this area is still a bit unknown, but we know it's there because it's in this screenshot. And then the northern part of the map, which is basically completely unknown besides the hills we see. So the Panhandle and the northern coast, or what's beyond it, is still unknown. Yorktown, which was seen in the leaks, might be part of Port Galhorn, or it might be something north of Port Galhorn, so in the northern part of the map, but we don't know. The Panhandle is only based on the shape of Florida, so it might be completely speculative. And the map might extend much more north, maybe few kilometers more than on this map. So I have to reiterate, most of this is still unknown. And as the final thing, I want to present to you Janissa's map, which only has things that we know of and can be completely sure about. Fidolemuo's map, which is on the VIA Map website, is basically the same thing, but I'm just clarifying more things here. So very cool. There is still very much that we don't know about the GTA 6 map, and it's very fun to try to figure out what we know about the map. But sometimes people miss that we actually don't know much of the stuff we show on the maps. And it's important that people know that we don't know everything. And again, when I'm making this video, a Reddit post with the exact same subject has been made. So I'm not copying it, I recorded the sound before that post came out. Thank you for watching, like, comment, and of course subscribe, and thank you.